Yes, women will let their guard down. They will tell you one thing at the beginning and do the complete opposite once they get comfortable around you. You know, a woman that says, "Oh, uh, I never invite dudes to my house, unless I really get to know them." Next, your second day chilling, you laying in her bed. I've been in plenty of these situations. I've had women tell me, "Oh, I never smash on the first night." Next thing you know, man, you round two the same night. You know what I'm saying? Clapping cheeks, all in their guts. I've had women say, "Oh, I never give a man money. I would never take care of a man." Next thing you know, I had women giving me their paycheck every week. Nothing to brag about. There's nothing to brag about, man. I'm just telling you my experiences. This is all from personal experience. I've even had women tell me, "Oh, I'll never share a man. I'll never share a man. I'm too good for that. I know my worth." Next thing you know, later on, this chick knows that I'm screwing this other woman and consistently screwing her, and she still stay with me. Almost turns into a competition. She's trying to prove to me why I should leave the other woman and stay with her. Women say one thing and do another once they either get comfortable around you or because you are a select man, because you are an attractive man. You check off most of their boxes. That's really what it is when it comes to females, man. So you really can't believe what they say. You just have to go by their actions. I've had plenty of women who tell me they weren't going to do things, they don't do things, and then, what I'm saying, they end up doing them. I remember there was one time there was this female who had a small child or whatever. She had a son. And she says, "I don't bring dudes around my kids. I don't, whatever. I don't want anybody meeting my kid. You know what I'm saying? Because if things don't work out, blah, 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 blah." Literally, the next week, she invited me over and she wanted me to stay the night. I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to lie on no cat. You know what I'm saying? I didn't smash. And that wasn't the only woman, it was a different woman. But no, I didn't smash. We literally laid in bed, we smoked weed, and pretty much cuddled all night. I definitely think that if I continue to talk to her, actually, I know if I continue to talk to her, I probably would have smashed next time. But there was also another situation where a chick, our first time chilling, she invited me over to the house and wanted me to stay the night, and she didn't let me smash. We didn't do anything. But here's the thing, man. That's out of a woman's comfort zone. A woman's home where she lays her head at. A lot of women do not like strange men they don't really know to be in their comfort zone. A lot of women know men are creeps. A lot of women know men could be stalkers, and a lot of women know men can overstay their welcome. So if a woman tells you she doesn't invite dudes to her house, she doesn't invite men around her kids, and next thing you know, she's invited you over to come over and chill and stay the night, just know that she's letting her guard down for you. Now, what causes a woman to not let her guard down or to change her ways is when dudes do creepy things, where a woman decides to let her guard down, let a dude stay the night and he tries to grape her. Or, he tries to get too close to her son or, touches her son's just weirdo stuff. This is what causes women to not let their guard down and then just be, completely standoffish when it comes to men or getting close to men. But yeah, man, even some of the most prettiest, baddest women that you consider a baddie, that you consider a 10, even they will let their guard down. Don't get confused by a woman's looks, man. Just because she's so beautiful, she has so many followers on Instagram, she gets so much attention. A lot of times, a lot of those women are the most easiest women to manipulate. And this is not a video to try to tell you how to manipulate women, that you should manipulate women and lie to women and try to get close to them just to, leave them or use them or anything. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling you, if you ever been in a situation, you be like, "Man, how I end up, getting the cheeks when she says she don't smash on the first night, or how I end up getting cheeks when she told me she usually makes dudes wait 2, 3 months. I'm already, and is there something special about me?" And yes, there is something special about you. There's something special about you enough that you were able to get her to let her guard down. So I don't like the narrative where, in some cases, this is true, but not in all cases, where a lot of dudes says, "Well, if she let me have, how many other dudes before me she let have?" A lot of the times that's not the case. A lot of times there is something special about you, about your aura, the way you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes got good word of mouth, good wordplay, the gift of gab. A lot of dudes know how to present their physique and wear certain clothes that make their physique stand out. You know? Yes, there is something special about you, man. A lot of dudes don't realize, even you watching, you may not realize how rare of a catch you are, how rare of a find you are. You may be looking at your circle, looking at your friends around you, and thinking because they have more money than you, or they have a flashy car than you, or they dress better than you, that, they could get more chicks than you. Well, a lot of times they can't. A lot of times these dudes may look impressionable to you, impressionable on the outside, but once they are alone, because you don't see a lot of your homies, a lot of these dudes, you don't see them alone with females. These dudes got no game. These dudes shrivel up like a prune when it comes to around women. They may know how to joke and cut and, so outspoken when you guys are all chilling and stuff like that. While y'all out playing pool, out playing ball, they're so dominant, they're so aggressive. But when it comes to females, man, they little punks. It really is like that a lot of times, man. Don't be, and it may seem weird because it's like, man, how you masculine and your testosterone is all pumped up around other dudes. When you get around a woman, you act like a female. You act like you full of estrogen. You really would be surprised, guys. And a lot of times, these are the type of dudes where women don't let their guard down for. A lot of dudes that you think get a lot of women, get a lot of cat, man, they don't. Behind the scenes, man, these women are like, they see these dudes for who they are. Man, this dude's a clown. These dudes are a cornball. And you actually could get further than you think you can with a female. So this video can also help guys who are a little afraid or, a little scared to ask a female to consider maybe out of their league, or a female to consider maybe top tier, top scale. I'll never ask her if she could come over my house or if I could go over her house. You never know. She may be waiting for you to ask that. She may be sitting telling her homegirls to herself, when is this dude going to ask me to come over? When is he going to ask if he can come over? I don't want to be the one to initiate it because I don't want to look thirsty. I'm waiting on him. A lot of times these women are waiting on you. A lot of times dudes be sitting around and blocking their blessings on their future wife, their future longtime girlfriend or whatever the situation is. You are blocking your blessings because you're sitting there waiting for her. You got to be a man. You got to be aggressive when it comes to these women. You got to be assertive. You got to let them know what you want, man. In order for a woman to let her guard down, she has to know how you're coming. You have to let a woman know how you're coming in order for her to let her guard down. It's the same thing. Let me use an example for football. I don't like sports, but I'm using for football, right? If the running back sees how, let's say, the defensive or the tight end is coming, sees his stance, sees, all right, he likes to come around from behind number 34 and come around from the side. So I know not to go that way. The fact that the running back knew how the tight end was coming, he knew how to set up, how to avoid, or how to prepare for the tackle. It's the same thing with women, man. It's the same thing with women. Women are trying to run. They're trying to run with the ball, and they see you coming for them. Now, it's up to them when they see you coming if they're going to break tackle or if they're going to accept tackle. Now, obviously, in football, you want to break every tackle. Your goal is try to get yards and gain yards and get a touchdown. But with women, it's opposite. You want to stop that woman from getting to the touchdown. If we're using it as far as a football, you want to stop them before that. You want them to be able to let their guard down. So once you let a woman know how you're coming, that's when she decides, all right, I'm going to cut this dude off, or I'm going to let my guard down. And I'm going to give in to what he wants from me, to what he's asking of me. But yeah, man, I haven't seen many videos talking about this, man, but it's true. It happens a lot in the dating scene, man. It happens a lot in the dating scene, and it's not talked about enough, man. It's not talked about enough. But yes, man, women will let their guard down for the guy that they find attractive, the guy who is coming at them a certain way, the guy who grew on them, the guy who's assertive, who's aggressive. They will definitely do it, guys. And before we end this video, I just want to talk about one more thing. I want to talk about patience. As a guy, sometimes you have to be patient with certain women. I was in a 5.5-year relationship with my ex-girlfriend. When I first met her, she was so quiet. You could barely get a sentence out of her. You get 1-2 words. She was very uptight. Once I did get her to open up a little bit, she used to always call herself ugly. And eventually I got her to let her guard down, where she opened up to me. She could be herself. She conversated, she laughed, she joked, she giggled, and she stopped calling herself ugly. She stopped calling herself disgusting. She would say, I'm disgusting, I'm ugly, when she wasn't. She was a virgin. I was her first. She had a banging body, and she had potential. She just needed to be, appreciated more. She needed to be talked to more. She needed to be showed how to do things, And I pretty much did that with her, man. I got her to let her guard down. Now, if I was the type of dude to say, man, this chick is boring, she weird, she don't really talk much, she's very standoffish, she's a virgin, she hasn't really kissed a guy, she hasn't done none of this stuff, man. I don't want no type of. If I was that type of dude, I would miss out on something good. Like I said, we lasted 5.5 years. I was her first. You know, it was a good experience for me and it was a good experience for her as well. But it took time for her to let her guard down, guys. So comment down below if you think there's anything I left out. Comment down below maybe your personal experiences. Share this video with somebody who needs to hear it. Hit the like button if you haven't already and subscribe if you haven't already, man. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace and love.